Hi, welcome along to Transfer Daily. The big news today, as we predicted here on the show, well, almost since the start of the summer, that Thomas Vermaelen's going to be leaving. Arsenal have accepted a bid from Barcelona of £15 million, and now it's just for Thomas Vermaelen to agree terms, and he will be on his way to Barcelona. And great move for Thomas Vermaelen, and great amount of money for Arsenal. Good deal for Arsenal. £15 million for a player that hasn't been the greatest over the past couple of seasons. Is getting a little bit older. He's not old, but getting a little bit older as well. And in the last year of his contract, and £15 million, I think that's a very, very good bit of business by Arsenal. Only if they use that money wisely and bring in an excellent replacement. Because no matter what we say about Thomas Vermaelen, he was a leader. He had a great season when he first came. You're right, he had a dip, but he was a player that could come in like he did last season, and you didn't have worries about him covering that defender's position. He could also cover at left back. We've lost that now, so it is very, very important, as important as the Sanchez deal to me, that we get somebody in who's going to be very, very comfortable and very, very good in this position. And that is a question. It only is a great deal if we use the money wisely. And we've been making a lot of money off of deals this season. Even though we spent a lot of money, we've made a hell of a lot of money off of deals. Now, looking at the targets out there, the one obvious one, or there's two obvious ones out there. There's the Daniel Agger one, which we've spoken about. I've had a little chat to some friends of mine that are Liverpool fans, and the main problem with Daniel Agger, why they said he's never really kicked it off up there, good defender, but always injured. Now, that's not what we want. We don't want an injury-prone player. And the other player that's out there right now that I'm sure is going to be available, whether the club are going to want him to sell him to us or not, that's another matter, but that's Nastasic, who plays for Manchester City. Now, City are just about to buy another defender in Mangala. That really does make Nastasic surplus to requirements. He's a young player. I think he's only 21, and he's a good defender. When in his first season at City, he looked the business. Of course, he hasn't been able to get into the team. They've got all these defenders, Company, Di Michaelis. Now they're getting Mangala. They've got loads of central defenders. So he could be available. It would be quite a high fee. I would have thought he probably would be about that 15 million. But that could be a good replacement for Thomas Vermaelen, or maybe somebody like Winston Reid from West Ham. But we've got to get this right. The person who comes in to replace Thomas Vermaelen has to be a top-class defender, because even though they're coming in and they probably won't start every week, listen, you know what it's like without injuries. You could suddenly be thrown in and have to play a long run of games. We play loads of games as well, so that player will get a lot of game time. So it's very, very important that we are very wise in how we fill that position. I know we've got Callum Chambers, who we've seen in the past few weeks sort of slot into that position, but I really do want to see also a specialist defender come in that area. Also, the other position that we all know about, that we've been harping on for weeks and weeks, is that holding midfielder position. Wenger's already said Khedira, he's not in for Khedira, so that's out of the question. Cavalia now, the chairman of Sporting Lisbon has come out and said they've received no bids for William Cavalia from any club. So, listen, that doesn't mean there's not interest there. Arsenal still may have registered interest there in Cavalia, but they've received no bids for Cavalia. Remember, there was a talk going around last week that Arsenal had bid £23 million for Cavalia, which was turned down. Well, Sporting Lisbon saying that there's been no bids. Listen, Sporting Lisbon, they know they need to sell either him or Rocha, or one of those big players that they've got there, because they are a team that are in big financial problems. So it's whether Arsenal are going to take a chance on William Cavalia. Of course, he's still quite a young player. It's whether Arsenal are going to take a chance with him. But again, that holding midfielder position, I'm a little bit worried, I must admit, because we've gone out and we've done well in the striking department. With the signing of Alexis Sanchez, we filled a right-back position pretty quickly with Debuchy. Callum Chambers has come in. But I am a little, goalkeeper Ospina, I'm a little bit worried why we are taking so long with a defender position when we know that Vermaelen's on the way out, and also with this holding midfielder position. It worries me when I hear things like Jack Wilshere can fill that position. He can't. We're going to see tomorrow. I'm not sure what team that City will put out, but you'll see tomorrow that, you know, you're coming up against guys like Yaya Toure in midfield. Jack's a great player, but holding midfield against those sort of player, you need a better player that's got more defensive qualities, a player of more presence. And as good as Jack is, that is not a position, you know, that defensive-wise, midfielder-wise, to stop those sort of players charging through midfield. That, for me, is not for Jack Wilshere or for Callum Chambers, who's just a young player just stepping in. Maybe in the future he could go into that position, but we need somebody now who that's going to be his accustomed position. And I'm a little bit worried that we haven't filled those positions yet because we've got big games coming up. That, remember the Besiktas game that we've got now in the Champions League. We got to get through that, and I would have liked to have seen those players in place long before this game, especially defensive-wise. I mean, Per Mertesacker probably won't even be available in that game because they're only just coming back. So I very much doubt that he'll even be available to play in that game. So I'm a bit worried that we haven't filled those positions yet, and I'm a bit worried when I hear talk of being able to slot this player here and slot this player. Let's go out there. We've got the money. Let's go out there and get the class players in these areas. It's just as important as attack, and really, really make a good assault on the league and on the Champions League this year. Other rumours going around today, the whole Marco Reus thing, Dortmund saying today that they're determined to hold on to Reus. They want to try and see if they can offer him some sort of new contract to fend away all the sort of gathering clubs, including Arsenal, that are interested in buying him. And they absolutely, I mean, they've lost so many of their marquee players. Goetze, they lost Lewandowski to Bayern as well. Remember, they really, really don't want to lose Reus. So they're looking to offer him a new deal. So I don't think there'll be movement on that one before the end of the transfer window because they're just so determined to hold on to him. I suppose it all depends on the player. If the player, you know, sort of says, right, I want out. He is, of course, born in Dortmund. He's from Dortmund. He's a Dortmund product, so they really, really want to hold on to Reus. And here was a rumour today about Joel Campbell. Apparently the Newcastle Echo newspaper up there in Newcastle claiming that Newcastle United are interested in taking him on loan before the end of the transfer window. Again, I really, really hope that he is staying put. I mean, all the indications is that Joel Campbell's staying at Arsenal. He said in his press conference the other day he's happy, he looked relaxed. So I'm really, really hoping that Joel Campbell is going to be staying put at Arsenal and it's not going to be going anywhere because it's time for us to see. You can't just keep sending these guys out on loan. Time for us to see the best of him. What's he made of? If he's not up to it, then you make a decision. But right now, I think it's a time to give the guy a chance. He looked good in the World Cup. He looked great when he scored that goal against Manchester United last season. He's got Champions League experience. He's gained experience all over Europe. His time has come now to throw him into the Arsenal team, and I really, really don't want to see him go out on any loan deals whatsoever. Right, let's take a look at what you guys were saying yesterday. Go for a few of the comments. Mickey Worthless says, I'm pretty sure that Wenger said he can see Chambers playing the defensive midfield role already, even though he's only 19 years old. We are not going to buy a DM, guys. Sorry. I hope you're wrong. And again, that's what I said. These things worry me. Callum Chambers has looked good in the friendlies. Those are friendlies. He could become a great player. Fair enough. But right now, we don't need no experiments. We need a player that's going to go into that position. And it worries me a bit about Arsene Wenger. It worries me a bit that he might adopt this policy, I'm going to slot this guy here. No, we don't want that. We want a proper player that's his position. Go out there and buy that player because we do have the money. Let's get into another comment here. Vidal 7498 said, if the Khedira and Carvalho deals are off, maybe as a short-term plan, we should go for Xavi Garcia or Nigel de Jong. Also, whatever happened to Jan Mavia? That's true. Whatever happened to him? Cabanyas 1794 says, why don't we get Alex Song back? Now, Alex Song would be available. Of course, he's just been warming the bench all his time at Barcelona. Again, I'm not sure if Alex Song's the answer. Even when he was at Arsenal, he seemed to prefer attacking more than defence. Listen, he can play. He's a good sort of utility type player in that defensive midfielder role. He can drop also into defence. But listen, he was there before. He's left. I think we need to look beyond Alex Song. But I hear you when you suggest that. Misha 1231 says, Arsenal don't want to buy Khedira. They should buy Lars Bender, and he's German too. And loads of people have been suggesting Bender right throughout the summer, saying that would be their preferred option. But again, haven't really seen any movement on that front. Maybe those offers, if they are going to go through, will be things that will come later on. I like this one. It's from Tamiko Nelf. He says, I bet Robbie will still mention Khedira tomorrow, as he still seems to get a semi when he does. Listen, that's funny. I like that. I thought Khedira, I really thought that Arsenal were going to go for Khedira. I thought he would have been a really good buy for Arsenal. But if Arsenal doesn't fancy him, fair enough. Just bring in that proper holding midfielder. I can't stress how important it is. Shisham 1983 says, trust me, Cavani is a no-go. Wenger bought Sanchez as he knew Sanchez has room for improvements. Arsenal is not getting Sami Khedira because that is already his best effort in football. Maybe somebody like Lars Bender would be fantastic. Bender can further improve his play and value, but all these release clauses are causing a big problem. We need a good defender and let Callum Chambers be the anchor, not Wilshere. I have a great feeling the final transfer is a defender and not an anchor. Listen, we need both. We need both. That's for me. John Kille 55 says, I'm fine with Giroud, Campbell, Sanchez and Sanogo. Giroud and Sanogo are similar with holding the ball up and using their strength. Campbell and Sanchez have the pace. He says that's done. A lot of people disagree with you there. Last couple here. Roots ZSP says, Juventus can have Wilshere and we'll have them for either Vidal or Pogba. Of course, we heard these rumours yesterday that Juventus are interested in signing Wilshere if they were to lose Vidal. I think the chances of that happening are absolutely zero. And let's just get one of the other ones out. James Stav says simply, Cavani is one of the best strikers in the world. He wants him in. And 15 Production says Cavani is overrated. Remember, we were talking about Cavani yesterday. The whole thing we were saying was that Arsenal previously tried to bid for him. Should we go back in for him? This guy's saying Cavani is overrated. People only want him because of his success with Napoli. He's been very average since leaving. I'd rather get Royce or play Sanchez up front, who we already have Sanchez. So we've already got the player in there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Who are we going to get? That is the one big question that is out there at the moment. Who are Arsenal going to bring in? As I said, defensive midfielder position, defender, now that Vermaelen going to go, are absolutely essential. I know we all love the excitement of attacking football, but Arsenal's problem over the past few seasons has not been attacking and scoring goals. No matter how you might criticise Giroud or criticise this, we score goals. Our problem is when we don't have the ball, we're very susceptible to the counter-attack. We've got to address that, and we need good defenders and we need a good holding midfielder. And I just hope that Arsene Wenger is not this slotting in thing. I don't like the news of that. And we've got big games coming up. Besiktas away. Listen, we're supposed to win that on paper, but it's not going to be easy. They beat Chelsea in a friendly yesterday, so we've got to be serious about what we're doing. Thanks for watching Transfer Daily. Please, please, please leave your comments below. They may get read out on tomorrow's show, and I really enjoy going through them and the great advice you guys give me. The ribbing that you guys have been giving me about Khedira, I've loved all of it. Brilliant stuff. Keep it up. And don't forget to subscribe here to Arsenal Fan TV. Thanks for watching.